So why are we out here today?
So I am a teacher. I work in public school, and I also have two daughters, both of whom are in schools where they regularly have to practice lockdown drills. And I just think that it is the responsibility of Congress to pass common sense gun legislation, and I think enough is enough.
And what kind of common sense gun legislation specifically are you looking for?
I mean, I think the bill that's sitting on Mr. McConnell's desk that is going to help, is going to address background checks is the first step. And it's been sitting, the House passed it, it's been sitting on his desk, and he's done nothing about it. So specifically, I would like to see that. And red flag laws.
Red flag laws?
Red flag laws, sorry, yeah.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Is there anything beyond that you support as well, or?
I think that we need to address the fact that no one really needs an assault rifle. No one needs to have a gun that has such destructive capacity.
Sure, like can you define an assault rifle for the viewers?
Sure. So assault rifles that have, where you can fire a multitude of bullets, and it has such devastating impacts on people's. Automatic weapons. Yeah.
So you know that automatic weapons weren't used in any of these tragedies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They weren't used.
Yeah, but I just don't think that anyone should have assault-style military weapons in their hands.
Sure, but I mean, those have already sort of been effectively outlawed since 1934. Almost no. That's why they haven't been used in mass shootings. The ones that have been used are these semi-automatic variants, the ones that can shoot about as fast as handguns. So what do you feel like really differentiates the difference between those types of rifles, semi-automatic rifles, versus semi-automatic handguns, for example?
I mean, I can't answer that. I don't know enough about that, but I just think that there are certain weapons. I don't necessarily think that the Second Amendment needs to be eradicated. I understand why some people feel the need to have a gun for self-protection. I just don't think that certain guns are necessary for that. So, and that's my answer, really.
So for handguns, for example, I mean, we're primarily focusing on assault-type weapons. We have an assault weapons ban here in California, for example, but it seems like the vast majority of gun homicides are with handguns, I think something like over 80%. Right. How come we're not focusing on that when things like all rifles are responsible for 2%?
Well, I think we are focusing on that. And I think that is what the background check is going to help address. Like in California, for instance, we have really strong laws, but in states like Nevada, they're not as strong. And so that just makes us as a state less safe. So I think that addressing background checks to make sure that people go through the proper vetting system, I guess, before they obtain a weapon, I think that would help a lot.
So you mentioned California. We have strict background checks. We have it for, store sales. Of course, that's on a federal level. We have it for private sales. We have it for pretty much everything. If you want to get a gun, even if it's transferred, even from your parents, you have to notify the state, everything. But, you have these other states, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, Idaho, various states, but they have none of those effectively. I mean, they have the store ones, but they don't have the same background check laws as us, yet they have much lower homicide rates than California. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think like Chicago, for instance, which has a very high rate of, gun violence. A lot of those guns are coming in from Indiana, right? So I just think if we kind of federally have some restrictions put in place, I think that in general, studies show that would make us more safe.
Sure, but for example, the guns that are coming from Indiana, how come they're not more violent in Indiana, but they get more violent when it goes into Chicago?
I don't know the answer to that. Yeah,
okay. Sure. And is there anything else you'd like to say?
No, thank you for your time. Yeah.
Thank you.